We are tWoTcast, episode 409.
Yeah, he found it. Tom found it.
No, he did not. No. Okay.
All right, everyone shut the f*** up. Let's ready to record.
We like to start every show by yelling, "We are tWoTcast." Can you do that with me? On the count of 1, 2, 3, go. We are tWoTcast. Now we can start.
The Wheel of Time, re-read podcast, explicit in R, freaking rated. Jono's the wild card, always talking shit. Joe's the straight man, he's a total dick. Tom is still obsessed with X-Men.
Previously on X-Men.
We are
I'm excited to see this. I want that to just light up in flames.
Really mad he didn't smoke while
Yeah.
having it on somehow.
You're watching tWoTcast, Wheel of Time re-read podcast, now covering the Wheel of Time. Interesting. I'm Jono with his
What are we
Joe.
actually covering, Jono?
The Wheel of Time.
The Shadow Rising.
That's the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, I know. You need to be specific.
Joe!
People don't know. Oh,
Hey,
hey,
your goddamn name first. It's the intro first.
I'm Joe with 8 O's.
And somewhere with me is Tom, if he can find his mute button. And that looks like he's been deep throating dick for a while and he just can't close his mouth.
Stay your mouth. Stay your mouth.
It sounds like you got a Bane voice going on already.
Shut your mouth. I was born in the dark.
So hot. Also, the dog is freaking out.
Yeah.
Not a nice
Just
thing to
where the
call
fuck
your
are you?
Hold on. I gotta get a drink. I spent too much time trying to find that mask.
Man, I ran downstairs to get a delicious old fashioned that my wife made me.
I haven't
But,
had one of those in 2 days from your
Yeah,
wife.
yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sat down like I didn't hear the music playing still, and I was like, "Oh no, it's just like dead air," because I didn't get back to my computer, and it was literally like 2, 1, and I was like, nailed it.
I was pouring myself a drink and I got in. I couldn't get my headphones in my ear because again, perfectly professional podcast. We've been doing this.
Yeah, of course.
Good. Why wouldn't we be good at it?
Yeah,
We have a million. Well, first of all, we're starting a few minutes late.
Things we do in that 2.5 minutes.
I pee, I get ice,
Yeah.
fill up my beer, I grab a
Hey.
drink for my wife.
Piss all over my hands.
I'm running up and down the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
So-
just started the show and didn't start with the countdown. I'd be like, I don't even know what to do.
I did see this right before I actually hit start. But Wadaholic said, "Why are we waiting? No one does prep for this."
Fucking
Literally
lie.
Glenn said,
just
"What is
read.
prep?" And he said, "Preparation, prep." And then Glenn said, "I was being facetious."
I love that he explained it.
I know, it's good. Hey, over.
What is prep?
So PrEP is a thing for prevention of HIV. I'm glad you guys are aware of that, and I appreciate all
the
of your efforts on that. The Phantom.
Oh, is that what you...
Face.
The shadow always rises in the morning? Is that what you call your junk?
So that would depend if
What's
you've
the
got
Phantom's
lights at every
tagline?
angle. If
You
have
know who
lights
played
at
the
every angle-
Phantom? Billy Zane from such wonderful productions as Winter's Dragon.
The Phantom.
The greatest live action Wheel of Time thing that's ever been made.
Yeah, it might be.
It's
really
It's top one.
It's really good.
I still the roller coaster that the shows, I guess plural, have been on the 3 a.m. FXX release,
Mhm.
and us like lampooning that, like, what the fuck is this? Fuck, like, you guys are fucking over Harriet, following 2 seasons of a real show, and us being like, actually, the thing at 3 a.m. on FXX might be better. Is a very difficult.
It wasn't at all, but I like to pretend it was.
Yeah,
I just
I mean,
think
again,
it
it
was.
was terrible, but
It wasn't.
That was good.
It wasn't bad.
How dare
It
you?
wasn't.
Billy Zane was in it.
Billy Zane was in it,
That's why
and
Billy
that is
Zane's not
why
gonna
he's our ranking
on this
system.
fucking show.
If you guys have ever
Yeah.
seen our episodes covering the show, We always rank our ratings of the episode with Billy Zane's.
Look how happy he looks. He looks amazing.
I just love that part where he goes, "Woo!" Or
Should
I
we do-
said I.
How many times have we covered Winter Dragon?
Not a lot.
Yeah,
Comes
I mean,
a
it's,
lot.
I mean, we did it once with. Did we do it with Leafcast Boys?
Yeah, we did with Leaf Guys for sure.
No.
yes, I think
remember
we
what
did it
else.
twice.
They'd
Yeah,
never
we-
seen it
we-
before. If I
We've talked
remember correctly.
about it on ours, right?
Obviously, we fucking talked
Many
about
times.
it
We're
right
talking
now.
about it right now, just casually.
I think that we should do a full rewatch of Winter Dragon, just as an episode idea.
I
No.
guess. How long is
I'm-
that?
I'm
10
all for
minutes? It's pretty short.
I know. If we need some
You're-
filler,
We could do it right now and still do the content we're talking about doing.
I don't think so. We just talked about the fact that all we do is get fucking drunk and meander too much.
Yeah, but trying to drag that out into an hour is still.
That's a strong old fashioned. All right, boys.
So today we're going to be doing this is section 3 of the Shadow Rising.
Yeah.
Chapter
This is part 3 of our coverage of Shadow Rising, chapters 5 through 9.
Get
a
it right.
reverse Dolly Parton.
Stop ad libbing. There's
What are you doing?
what do you do?
Why do I let you do this? I'm taking back the reins permanently.
A reverse Dolly Parton. We're not going to make a better joke for the rest of the.
Did you see the Dusty Wheel recut by Hatch's son Taylor? Is it Taylor? Yeah, it's Taylor.
It's
it?
possible.
It's Taylor.
So isn't that technically just Hatch?
Yeah, I've seen. No, yeah, it's his son. I've seen it. I think I've seen it.
Oh, Hatch.
I
definitely-
watched it. I think.
I haven't.
If I didn't watch the whole thing, I watched most of it.
I don't seek
I
out
have
other
not.
Wheel of Time content.
I think I watched it like together with them on their own show.
I watched a
So
lot
I
of
didn't
other.
like view it myself, or you know what I mean. I don't know.
When the show was coming out, there was a fervor, and I was like excited. Then I watched a lot of other content because I was like, "Let's
Mhm.
fucking go!" And then, that stuff.
Glenn said the attack on Emmons Field was pretty freaking awesome. That's the best 20 minutes the show has
You're not
had.
wrong.
It started
and
strong.
It started strong. Like watching it live was like not live, obviously not there, but like watching it like in a theater, like for the first like pass.
Oh yeah, that was true. That was really
fucking
fun.
incredible. Like it was like one of those things like kind of like not chill inducing because it was warm, but like really fucking exciting. And then
I don't remember where it started to veer off, and it started to get like, what the fuck?
well, technically parts of episode 1.
I know
were kind of
exactly
like-
when it's happened. Episode 3. Wait a
Wait a
minute.
minute.
4.
I don't think I was.
Wait a
I wasn't
minute.
mad about 3 or 4. I don't think.
I don't
I
think
think
you were
4
either.
is when they start getting into that random warder and the warder lady that or the Aes Sedai.
Even that, I was just like, okay, I guess.
Mm,
But then as
worse.
it keeps going, you're just like, wait, still?
Well, the second they showed me 2 episodes straight with them as the main characters, and then they said a month later for like Rand and Perrin and everybody, and I was like, nope. I don't care if you're doing this bullshit of like which one of them is the Dragon Reborn, including Nynaeve and Egwene, but the second you don't show me the main characters for like a full episode, I'm angry about it.
I'd have to go back and find out when
We could do that.
When I broke.
We can, yeah, we can absolutely do that. Also,
Anyway,
I
we're
love
not
the
here to
fact that-
talk about the show,
Hold on.
guys.
I was
We're
going
gonna
to
talk
do
about-
a wonderful parallelism. Well, I guess perpendicularism, in the fact that
We're
our
gonna
original
segue into what we're
show
talking about.
14 years ago, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. Still don't. But it was episodes 3 or 4, and all of a sudden we just said we got drunk as fuck, and we got actually better. Whereas the Wheel of Time TV show, about 3 or 4 is when it seemed to have gone radically worse. It's good to know. This is what happens when you have the wrong ginger in charge. Should have been this guy.
Chad
Could
did
have
a
been
good job
worse.
helping derail the episode.
Yeah,
Literally
thanks.
could not have been worse.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks.
Oh, I forgot to change shirts. I was going
Can't
to wear
derail
very
something
nice.
that's never on the tracks and was never going to be.
That's true.
Sure it was, Tom. Spoilers for the TV show and all of the books, because we discuss everything and anything that could happen, but mostly in the chapters we're talking about.
Mostly.
Mostly.
Jono?
So yeah, chapter 5. I've got some great news. Tom was
So this is
ready
our
to-
episode covering The Shadow Rising Part 3.
already
Chapter
did
5 through 9.
Reverse Dolly Parton.
That's it. It only works once, and it worked.
Yeah. Oh, look
Amazing.
at all those notes. Goodness
Yeah.
gracious.
What if I start doing that? What if I hear what I think is the best joke of the night and I just turn it off and walk away?
I'm all right with
How
it.
would you know?
I'm okay.
By
You'd have to
definition, the first joke is the best joke.
You would
It's
be
like a cut.
holding back. No, nothing's beating the reverse deli. It's so good, but also dumb. Like in the best way humanly possible.
All right, chapter 5. As Joe has been waiting to yell about.
Yeah.
Questioners. This is, of course, a chapter entirely devoted to Jeopardy.
Oh,
Very kind. Yeah.
I thought it was a clever misdirect from the White Cloaks.
Nope. Also, very low scores on Jeopardy tonight. Very disappointing. They did not understand the questions.
I think
So
in
that's
20
this
years,
week's
when
episode.
Thor wants money, they'll make a Wheel of Time series, but like set in like the future with like robots and AI and stuff.
Writing it or starring in it?
Just writing it.
Okay.
Be like a 12-book series because you can do it at any time, right? In the circle.
Yeah, by
in the
definition.
future.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess why
Or is
not?
that just what the Terminator is? John Connor, the dragon, and the Terminators are Trollocs?
It's Trollocs? He didn't get anything better? Could be Mirdraw. Forsaken.
Nah, it's too many Terminators. Maybe a T-1000 is a Mirdraw or something.
All right, so questioners. It's Nick
I'll
Weed
tell you
point
what,
of
we
view.
didn't talk about that on the old episode. Nah, let's do what downs or something. Come on. It was
Forging new ground at all times.
I think it's a fun idea to think about this story set in the future. Sci-fi.
Or at the same time.
the future. All right. Anyway, what's this chapter
Yeah.
about, boys?
Queen
so
and
it's-
Nave discuss the leads they've been given by their Black Azure prisoners.
Yeah.
It's a little something I like to call prep. Goddamn bitches.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I have a full page of notes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and a little bit more. Look, a tiny. What if I can, dry fingers pull this
Turn
back
back
a little
in.
bit more? Not a lot,
Ooh.
and they're typed.
Or wet fingers.
Typed notes is preparation.
What do you guys
Was
think
Jono
about
just
this?
scribbled down in a notebook?
This is basically a repeat of them talking about the leads they found in that closet in Tarvalon.
It is
I mean-
100%.
Is it? I think there's more than that, right? Isn't it like
mean,
Joya
maybe it's-
and Amiko like kind of like telling them two different versions of like what they
Well,
think?
sure, it's different, but it's kind of
guess.
the same.
I love
They're
Tom's
not
point of
giving
view.
them shit. I will agree with that.
Well, hold on. One is trying, and one. Well, I mean, what's her name is
Amiko,
burnt out. Burnt out.
she got
Uh,
stilled. She got stilled, bro.
Did she get stilled or burnt out?
They say stilled multiple times, so I'm
But
assuming.
they also call her burnt
They
out.
also
Like, there's
they
some
also don't know what
interesting-
what they're talking about. So
So I
Maybe
can't
she's
tell
I don't know,
been
we
that-
talked
stilled,
about it
but-
in the last podcast. We kind of settled on it had something to do with her being in the dream world and like half asleep and out in the real world and somehow like got tied off. I think they tied her off in the dream world and then she woke up. Like
Well,
so, I think
she's-
that like
Maybe she's tired of being a dark friend, so she's burned out. But she's been stilled from using the one power.
It's so stupid.
her pussy was burned out.
Oh wow, man!
I need a
then
chat.
why?
I need to chat horrible things.
So we're
Why?
going to.
You didn't have to
let's
put that
discuss
up.
this. Let's discuss
Yeah, I
this.
know, but it was funny.
So obviously she is no longer bound by the 3-Os. And one of the things Avienda, who is very observant, notices is like, hey, look, she looks like a 17 to 20-year-old.
Oh yeah,
versus
she notices the
ageless.
agelessness is gone. Yeah.
So obviously, as that message, if you would put that back up, Joe, what happens?
Well, I'm doing.
Is-
I'm busy. First of all, but second of all, no.
I don't know if we need to do that.
Is this like how much refreshes? Is it like her tits? Like they kind of like
This we've talked about many times.
I know, but it's like ageless is like a one thing, right? Like the face is almost like plastic surgery perfect. but now you've become young again in a much more like supple way, which will
The face is like you're shot on a video camera that's like covered with Vaseline. You're just like they shoot soap operas and stuff like that, where you're just like everything looks weird and you can't tell how old anybody is.
Goddamn.
okay. But then you restart at like 17 years old, like 20 years old, something like that. Yeah.
I think it's just like
wait,
when you have to take the oath, don't you think? Like
Hold on,
Swan
did you
went
say
back like 20 years, but that was because that's when she took the oaths,
It's just like dog years.
right? Don't you think that's what it is?
So you've been an Aes Sedai for
Like if I was 300
49
and I,
years,
and I
it's
like
really just
Castellane, and I took it when I was 28, I'd look 28 tonight.
If you're
I
a
don't
cat
think that's
and you've been
right.
alive for like
I think it's
70
more like-
years, then you would look 100.
I think
Oh,
it's
But if you're
Tom's
49, you'd look 19.
It's reverse dog years.
It's
Reverse dog
Yeah.
years.
So if I'm 300 and I've looked ageless for a long time, how old am I looking?
You're gonna
Do
look
the-
like 80.
Divide it by 7, and
You
then
think so?
add that number to whatever
Well,
age you
that's-
were when you started channeling, or
So
when you took
that's
the
part of the
oaths.
whole thing that like Egwene's been talking. I love that we are derailed as fuck at chapter like
This is
page
a very fascinating conversation. This is
Hey, by
stuff
the
we
way,
haven't
when
talked
this,
about.
the
when this,
whole thing
when this
that,
conversation's over, we're just moving to the next chapter.
No. Like that Egwene and Elaine and others are talking about of like what happens when you're released like released from the oaths. Like do you die? Because that was one of their concerns at first of like and the answer is I think like you are kind of released back into old agehood, if you would. And that like
It depends
so
on how
instead
old
of
you are.
exactly, that's 100% right.
Reverse dog
So-
years puts you at 1,000, so you're dead. You would just die.
Mhm.
But if you were like, so in this case, if you're 300, which is kind of the maximum age for a Aes Sedai, you're all of a sudden going to look more like you're still aging the same way.
Maybe it's
You've been
more than
released-
7. Where did they come up with that number? I'm gonna do a deep dive into.
I've
how
heard
they
that was
come up with
bullshit.
dog years.
I love the I've heard that was
Of course,
bullshit.
it's bullshit.
No, I mean like no, that's like I'm saying the 7 years thing is like old, and it's like something
Yeah,
like you add 7 for the first like 3 years, and then you like times it by
Add
2 or
4.
something like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
It's
that's
like
way
some
too
weird
complicated.
formula now.
It also depends on dog breed.
The idea was just supposed to be like if the average human dies at 70 and the average dog dies at 10, then
Not
just
7.
simple math. There's no like
Study it.
whoever said it was bullshit looked into it way too hard.
Did he had some of that Vaseline? A bound Aes Sedai at least? What?
Not again.
What are you talking about?
It's
All right, let's
like
let's talk about what Puff Daddy would have done with these 2 Aes Sedai as prisoners and how he would have interrogated
holy shit, let's do that.
them.
Just a Diddy party jail over here.
Just the
Not
second
sure
week
what
in
I
a
would
row.
say.
Diddy parties
So
are
Joya
coming.
is saying that Mazrim Taim is going to be freed, and they're going to prop him up in some elaborate plan to like discredit Rand.
She's
which
not wrong.
is complete bullshit, or is that like
No, it's not.
She's
is that why Mazrim Taim's freed later?
I don't think that's why he's freed. I think they realized that there was a secondary plan of why not just make this man become a weird,
You don't think Joya's fucking with them?
it's bullshit. She's making it up.
Yeah,
What are you talking
I
but it almost
completely agree
happens
with that.
exactly. Happens almost exactly like what they think, other than instead of
No,
like,
what happens
going out
exactly
there
is the vague shit that Amiko knows about Tenchiko.
I'm aware that happens, but is Mazrim Taim not released by his by someone? Yes.
Sure, but that's not what she's talking about. She's just making up a plan, like a fake plan that the Black Aja has to like send them in a different direction.
But I don't think
And they're
that
constantly trying to figure out if she can lie or not, and trying to
You're
catch her in a
looking-
lie.
You're examining this like the dog ear debunker. Like you don't need to worry about it. It's just
Cats
she's
have 9
lying.
months.
Oh, God damn it.
Well, you're right. You're right.
Oh, so Glenn's saying an Aes Sedai without being bound can live up to 700 years. Only those who swear on the rod are limited to. Well, they're
That's
limited.
correct.
I don't know if they're limited. They get there.
Yeah, but that's limiting, right? If you lose fucking what's that, 3/7? Like, or
Well,
4/7.
also, like, where's the 700 years thing coming from? Because like
we
Rand's like
know
12
that.
Well, Luce Theron's like 1200.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he was. He says it later when he slaps Cat Swain around when he's like, "Don't call me
No,
boy
he says
anymore."
I'm 4,000 years old because obviously he's been around for that
No,
long.
he said I was like 1,000 years old. Like, didn't he? I
Holy
swear
shit,
he
bro.
did.
Oh my god! All right, chat, back me up.
He's
no one-
referencing that he's just been alive forever.
Oh, alive for a long time. No, okay.
Yeah,
I thought he was combining their two ages together. Maybe I
That's
misremembered.
What have you-
funny. Yeah,
981 plus 19. I don't
Yeah.
know.
yeah,
It's
nailed it.
Yeah.
It's like
Really.
Austin Powers and fucking like yeah.
If I'm 981, I don't
He
think I need
says
to top
something
it
about
off
an
with
actual
that.
age, and it's not about being 3,000 years ago that
Yes,
he was alive.
it is.
It's
No,
just
it's
about
not.
it is.
No, it's not.
him
It's
being
about
an
him being
operator.
like 700 years old or something like that.
700 is still not right either because he wasn't that old.
Well,
Like,
how old
as
was
a-
he? How old was Luce Theron? Do you know?
He's probably in the 200s or 300s. What a weird thing to just like.
I don't think that's true.
What if somebody had just read chapter 5 and they were like, I can't wait to hear these guys talk about it?
Hey, we've talked about it. There's not a lot going on here.
All right, you're right. You're right. Let's get back on the fucking topic again. The hell's wrong with
See,
you?
Y-Man said he was 420. All right, so I was off, but it was still more than 300.
You were
I'm
off
pretty-
by 2.5 times.
Is that not a? Is he not making a pod
I don't
joke?
remember.
Is
I'm
that a
just
pod
saying, I
joke?
just said I don't remember. I just said he said some number that was high. I thought it was more than 700.
You keep saying
Somebody said
high.
1,000 or
Oh,
1,200.
Glenn
he's
said
saying
the big
420.
bite book is where I got the 700 years thing. Okay.
That's correct. Glenn is correct. Almost.
I
That's
don't
not what I
doubt
thought.
Glenn.
That's not what I thought BWB stood for. So I'm glad you said
I
that.
doubt Jono.
Big white
I don't,
bitches.
I don't doubt Glenn, by the way.
I've lost a lot of cachet. It's my fucking brownish up. Goddamn.
All right.
Well,
so that was
I mean,
good.
honestly, there's
I get it.
not a
Chapter
ton that
5.
happens in this chapter. They're
we
basically
nailed
like,
it.
yeah. I mean, the last thing they say basically is like, oh, is really just the Amiko thing of where she's like, the reason she repeats her story for like the 1,000th time, and basically she says something like, his own filthy power will trap him to us, which is like the quote she overheard from Leandrin
Yeah.
and
Bands of
Chesnole, I
morning.
think.
It's
Yeah,
a shame that Amiko gets killed. She could have been healed.
So I know you guys heard me play a clip of this before, but this is this day in tWoTcast history of this
Okay.
chapter.
Do we have a graphic?
So Gwen and Nynaeve got new gowns, and they're kind of bearing a little bosom.
Yeah, they're in the
I love their.
Tyrion style.
That was my major takeaway from this chapter.
I
It
was,
is.
I was.
They got
really-
their shoulders bared.
Good lord, that's hot.
Sexy.
See a little ankle, see a little shoulder. I'm good to go, man.
I usually prefer breasts and vaginas.
When did really? Here's my question: when did Amiko get?
That just cracked me up when I was like, I usually prefer breasts and vaginas.
I feel like we did better. We did better this time.
Yeah,
This was nonsense, and it was better this time.
Yeah.
That being
Yeah.
said, I can't disagree with you, Tom. I do prefer breast and vagina. I like that a woman has a shoulder. That's a
It's
pretty
ankles
good
and shoulders
start.
too.
Well, I mean, you
Yeah.
said it was really hot, and you liked shoulders and ankles, which is what prompted me to say that, Jono. Don't go
Yeah.
back on yourself from 13 years ago. We all know you prefer shoulders and ankles.
to pussy.
I'm a shoulder.
Breasts and vaginas.
I'm a shoulder man.
Anyway, chapter 6.
Hold
I'm
on,
gonna
I
try to
have
do at
three
least
things.
one or two of those an episode. By the way, I
had
only had
three-
time to throw that together right at the last second, but like,
If you're from the time where like shoulders and ankles actually were like titillating, what would happen if I brought you to the future and
to the
Right.
future.
you-
Fascinating thing, right?
and to a festival like in the summer? Would you die of an explosive erection?
Yeah. Also, Y-Man said nothing wrong with being a foot fucker. I mean, there's not.
It's not.
Nobody said anything
technically-
about seeing feet, just ankles.
Yeah. Put
Oh,
those toes
DK
away.
said Rand might have been. He wasn't bound by the oath, right? He might have just been bullying Catswain. I don't think I didn't get that impression, but it's not impossible that that's true.
Well, I mean, there's also two parts here, right? He
Yeah.
was never bound, and that's why he lived so fucking long. But good on
That
him.
seems weird. Why would he lie about it? He might have rounded up or something.
I do think that there's one last thing that's extremely important here that we really don't pay much attention to. Like they mentioned, like clearly the Black Ajah can lie. I feel like that should be the most important thing you take away is that somehow, whatever the fuck, like, that anyone you question, like, are you black as Jacques, and just say no, you're like, oh, I don't.
That's a good point.
That's
Did they not mention
massively important.
They don't mention that at all.
They don't
No.
think of even asking that, which I think
That's
is
weird.
insane.
Because
There's so much about that that's because it
knowing
undermines the entirety of the Aes Sedai.
knowing at least one of them can't lie would be pretty central to my interrogation plan.
Yeah.
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 If I get an answer from the one that I believe can't lie, I'm like, well, I'm going to believe her.
It sets up so much. And again,
There's a meme of, that
Oh.
classic, like one of these doors is locked, or the both, like one of them says the truth and one of them doesn't, kind of thing. Like where like the labyrinth, kind of like one of these gatekeepers is lying and one of them's telling the truth, and like you have to ask them questions to figure out the riddle or whatever.
Like from
the labyrinth
what David
and
Bowie.
other things, I assume, but it's in
no,
the
it's just
labyrinth.
David Bowie.
I was going to say Never Ending Story, but I don't think that's right.
Oh, is that him? No, wait.
What happens in Never Ending Story? Those two big lines.
The Sphinx things? I
Mhm.
think they just know if one is like, fuck. There's two of them at each end of the bridge. I think
We
one
should
is
do
like,
that.
if you're not true of heart or something, you can't walk by them. Like the laser
Do
beams
that.
will blast you. And I don't remember what the other one is.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
That was Labyrinth. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, we've already.
Anyway, I just saw this
That's
joke,
been
like
clever.
cartoon about like when like there's a barbarian in your D&D party or something, and he just murders one of them and goes, "Is this man dead?" And the other gatekeeper is like, "No," and they're like, "He's lying."
Gun.
I thought it was funny. Anyway, I don't know. Let's talk more about Neverending Story.
I could do that. Well, I can't do that because I haven't seen it in a long time.
I've
Now I
never
wanna
seen it.
know. What are those Sphinx things in Neverending Story? Because two of them are blue and two of them are yellow, if I remember correctly. Ish.
Go to
They
Rajah.
all blast laser beams down at you.
I
Right?
don't, have
Their
you
eyes
watched
start
this?
opening. It's like,
Yeah, have you watched that as an adult?
yeah, I mean, yes, but it was still like 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah. So yeah, I watched it as an adult legally. I wasn't grown up.
I'm conflating the
But it was
princess
still-
from that movie and
still a
like
long
the
time ago.
glowing the white and everything with Sigourney Weaver like glowing white and bubbles and stuff from Ghostbusters. Now in my head
Ghostbusters?
for some reason.
Foul
Ghostbusters?
creature.
Press conference.
Press conference?
All right, chapter 6.
All right, Moraine storms in with Elaine, and apparently
What the
Moraine
fuck?
Elaine was just standing outside. I thought she had been like hanging out with Moraine, and I still thought this listening to this or like reading these chapters again, and then listening to the old podcast. Apparently, we were like, Tom was like, no, she was waiting outside because they wouldn't let her in, and I was like, that's even funnier because you said something like she poked her head in, and I was like, how did I not catch that 2 times in a row? Like that she had been outside the whole time. But I thought that was hilarious. I don't know why. I don't know why she was outside. But
Where do you get that she wasn't like allowed in?
I don't. Tom said something 13 years ago about her being outside, and the reason he knew that is because like she pokes her head in for a second and says something or something like that.
Oh,
But I
Elaine?
missed
See
it
that?
both times. Yeah,
I don't
Elaine.
see that at
I don't
all.
And
know.
then when Moraine came in, she like just brought her into the room with her.
Yeah, because she had been with her. Like
she was
caught
with
up.
Maria.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were wrong 13 years ago.
I don't know. I'd have to listen to it and look at the pages to understand what I was.
Anyway, it's very
talking about what you're talking about.
Anyway, Moraine storms in with Elaine and tells them how dumb they are and how slow they are to get a decision made because they're from Emmons Field. And apparently that's what everyone from Emmons Field does because Rand's a dumb man.
Moraine ends the interrogation, seals the fates of these two ladies, and sends them all off just because she's having a fit because Rand's a
I
dick.
know, just because she's mad.
I don't.
I think
blame-
she's just like, you know what? I'm moving this shit forward because Rand's not.
I don't. I think what Moraine does though is gives this
Yeah.
giant ultimatum. Like, hey, it's fucking over. You have 3 days before you're done. Either fess the fuck up or enjoy what happens in South Harbor. And that's not even a sodomy joke. Literally, she says like, you better figure it out before South Harbor, because it's a sodomy reference, not a joke.
Yeah, it's good cop, bad cop. I'm gonna murder you, Captain. I'm tired of this.
Yeah, enjoy the rectal fectal. What's that mean?
I can
And-
wait. I don't care for that. I didn't care for that. It's too close to fecal, and I can like trying to
Well, that's
like,
right. Yeah.
get it out of here.
Yeah.
Get that
That's what
get
pooping
that statement
is.
out of here.
Wyman said, have you ever been in love, Moraine?
And actually,
Don't
that's a
you
great question.
understand
She
us?
knows. She
Don't
knows
you
the face of her
understand us?
husband better than you.
But she's not in love right now, right?
I don't know. Is she?
I don't
think so. I don't know if she's ever.
And she
in
doesn't
love.
know it's Tom until she goes through the doorway, right?
But she says she knows the face of her husband better than.
But I think she just means like it's not Lan, by the way, and she like fucks with the Neve. Or does
Oh,
she
so
literally?
the face is anything but that.
Or maybe it's a Min viewing from like before. Like she knows it's Tom, and then when she met Tom, she was like, "Oh, damn it," you know, or
That
something
could
like
very
that.
well
Like
be.
I don't know.
There's because she's never walked through she has not walked through this red doorway.
Wait, I forgot.
Right.
What are do we ever find out what Moraine's questions are? Do we know?
What does
we
the
do,
fox
right?
say?
No, but Tom 13 years ago, you said something along the lines of,
What if you went through the doorway and said, "What does the fox say?"
Not a frivolous question. It's just very serious.
Tom wanted to read the unwritten chapter of Moraine going through the doorway, and I still agree with you.
Yeah.
That's
I
that
fucking
would be
agree, yeah.
Awesome.
Do you know how many
I
times
want-
I've heard "What does the fox say" in the last 16 months? Like
Did you play it for your
hundreds.
child all the time?
Hundreds. Yeah, I play it. Anytime he's upset if you play it, he's just like,
It's that ring, ding, 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 ding. He's like,
you can
"What?
just sing that part to him, and he's just like, "Wait a minute,
What's this sound I'm hearing?"
I enjoyed this song.
One of my favorite parts of my wedding.
Sounds like
is just-
Swedish lovemaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is it weird that tell-
Glenn said I always assumed there were moments between Moraine and Tom that RJ never showed us, much as with the Neven Land. I mean, the Neven Land stuff I think is more shown, or at least
Yeah.
alluded to. Like they talk about them
Yeah.
I
having
think
walks
Glenn's
and
right.
stuff, like where they can get to know each other. My daughter played that song yesterday.
and that's also correct. White Man Wild is also
But the Moraine and Tom thing, I think it's subtly there if you like kind of look for it really hard, but like it's very brief. Like and they're not really around together very much before he
Not at
like,
all.
disappears.
Not at
well,
all.
obviously the
Well, they
entire,
have that moment soon, but
Yeah.
but everything Glenn said. Like,
The key is that
Glenn-
she says that one line before most indications that we get that like they have something for each other.
So it has to be a viewing from Min, or she just instantly like, well, my lower lips flooded looking at him.
Yeah, or
and
maybe
did
she already
not-
knows. Yeah.
Yeah.
her lips flooded was the opposite. I reversed all the part. I didn't care for that either. I don't know if I need that.
Anyway,
it's weird-
Gwen
do you think-
discusses loving Rand and how to deal with him. And
Okay,
then,
we're still doing this.
Oh wait, they do. Oh, we already talked about them sending the prisoners away.
My-
They do.
my-
Well, while Moraine's still in the room, though, they do discuss the doorways and how dangerous they are, and shit like that. Which I like. I like that conversation,
Yeah,
but it does
but I
seem
mean-
insane that she's even mentioning it to them. Hey, by the
I
way,
was
there's
gonna
a
say-
doorway.
Can
Like,
you
you're like,
imagine any other time in this book where she would have mentioned this doorway to these three particular people?
Yes,
All three of them,
like-
their takeaway would not be to run for it immediately.
Yeah, and figure it out. And she's like, I don't think you
Especially
understand how
Elaine.
dangerous it is. They even talk about how. Am I slow to you guys? I'm choppy.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Usually.
Well, I mean,
Oh, physically.
the video's choppy. The audio's fine. as far as
Yeah,
I know.
that's
Okay.
correct. Yeah.
Let me try.
Why? Don't.
limit my.
Just let it go. It'd be like you have a strobe light happening. It's kind of cool.
It's very good
Close
effect.
Kyle action going on.
At what point does Elaine not try to go through this fucking doorway, thinking
Why
she knows
don't-
better than everybody?
In fact,
That's kinda what I'm talking about.
the entirety of that decision making is interesting because, like, Rand, we get it, right? Like in this section, Rand's looking at every piece and puts it together. Like, hey, there was this thing from Mayene. There's this. Like all of it comes together. Egwene is tentative and like, I don't think it's a good idea, and then tells Matt, only do it if your life depends on it. And that comes up later, and Matt's like, oh, okay, and then it gets attacked. So it's very strange that the three people who are told like this will help everything, who spend so much time in the world of dreams with terrible prognosis for how to fucking live there, attacked over and over by many random things, including dark, like evil individuals, not just bad dreams, avoid the fuck out of it. Like it seems very strange.
Isn't it also strange that Moraine's just like she wants to go in, she gets the answer to 3 questions. She's definitely the kind of person to be like, but I could get the answer to 12 questions.
That's true.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
Like
Ask
Denise,
me.
you're next, and here's what you're asking. If you stray from these 3 questions, I'll know and I'll be angry.
Or shit, send some dumbass maid through. Like, what's the worst
Oh,
that
yeah.
happens to this maid?
line people up, just send them in one after the other.
Oh god!
Holy
she would've-
shit! Why the fuck haven't they done that? Like, that's like obviously
I guess
very like
she
Machiavellian.
cares
Yeah.
about people. Is worried about them, not surviving.
Moraine, this is the thing Moraine would do in order to
Yeah.
save the world for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's willing to risk her own life. I don't
She
know.
literally
Moraine is
says,
callous, but she still holds like life,
Hold on.
or even
She
a
says
maid
she'd
at a
kill
high
Rand.
level.
Nah, I
If
don't know
need
about
be.
that.
Yeah.
How so?
I
mean,
want
I
to
think
If
that's
you
an
brought a
interesting
maid in
question
front
to
of
ask, like,
Moraine,
where
and
does her
said
line
the
start
Dark One
then?
would lose and the dragon would win. If you slash this maid's throat, she would do it immediately.
Yeah, that's
100%.
true.
That's correct.
So
So one last thing, or not one last thing, but one thing I do want to mention is the fact that
I wonder how many
Like,
people are
when-
disagreeing with me angrily right now.
well, not me,
No,
not
I
me.
mean,
Egwene goes
Yeah.
to Elaine and just says, cups her hand away. He's yours.
yeah. By the way,
you can fuck my old friend.
you can have Rand
It's
or used goods.
Yeah. Or actually unused, as we will see very
No,
clearly.
he
from
fucks some lady named Celine. We know all about it.
what if
Dion.
Egwene was, what if Egwene's just like, I've been waiting for him to fuck me for 5 years and he hasn't. think
Yeah,
he might
I
be
am bored
gay.
to death with this guy.
So I'm taking Gawain.
Just have at it.
Yeah,
I love that idea.
Gawain. So Moraine's plan, not the worst, but she wants like Rand to kind of. She's tired of him sitting where he is because he's kind of a sitting duck. She wants him to just immediately strike west, attack Ilion, attack Sammael using Kalendor, take over Second Country. She even uses some bad prophecy to get there.
She has good plans.
Yeah, it's not a bad plan at all. It makes imminent sense. What I love though is the fact that like she just literally 1 book ago sent a fucking like letter to Swan and just kind of mentioned the fact that like she doesn't understand that we can't fucking control the Dragon Reborn. That's the thing
Yeah.
about prophecy. And then when Rand reads prophecy, she's like, "Oh no! Here's what it says. You don't know what you're doing." Like they're very incongruent views to me. Like just like let this man like. He doesn't have to follow every gut instinct, but
I
his
think she's trying to
thoughts
point
are-
him in a general direction.
True.
And then, I mean, she,
Hope for the fucking best.
yeah, I mean, any minute now she's going to find out she can't do that. And she didn't really try. She left him, well, he ran away in book 2 or 3. She left him
3.
alone in book 2. She's kind of following what she's saying, I guess. She
But
let
yeah,
him get all the
it's
way
a
to
little
Kalendor,
more-
and then she's just like, all right, maybe just go that way with your rage.
Go that way through the rage.
He does eventually,
Yeah, in what?
in
4
really
books?
epic fashion.
Who fucks
Fuck
better,
yeah.
Rand, Matt, or Parent? I mean, this is important.
Clearly, the answer is Matt.
Is that for us? It depends on what you want.
Yeah, it really does.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that it said clearly.
You want
but
a
I don't know
power
if I
bottom?
agree with
Parent's your
that.
guy.
Yeah.
If you want to get wrecked, parents your guy.
Correct. And let's be honest, like
It's got a
in my
13-inch wolf
experience-
dick. Half of it's lipstick.
yeah, it's gonna leave a mark, literally.
Or
red.
maybe it's rough, but if you want to get wrecked, it's Rand because he's so fucking angry all the time.
He's
I don't
also
know.
tall as fuck. So like if he's halfway proportional, like he's
Weirdly
swinging
enough,
something.
weirdly enough, out of the 3, I think Matt's just like, okay, that was normal.
Matt is the creative one. Rand lasts longer, and Parent is just big.
I see that. I think that makes
Solid
sense.
assessment.
I think
Solid
Matt's
assessment,
lovemaking
Glenn.
style has been described as okay, it's fine, adequate. Gets it
Oh,
done.
his question. He said his question was for the foxes.
That makes more sense. Are we the foxes now? It's too late. We did it.
Good thing that question had nothing to do with the shadow.
Yeah.
We would have fucking ripped you a new one.
Hey, here's the show
not
idea. Here's the show idea. Where are the foxes for the chat?
Oh, that's a great idea. Okay. We gotta write that down, Tom.
I know. I'm filled with them.
What else you filled with?
We're gonna have to be the foxes. Do we have to like smell weird things the whole time or pretend? Not doing that.
I mean, we just need to have funny costumes on, like your scream mask.
That's it.
That
fox left.
Anyway, this chapter kind of ends not abruptly, but just like they're just thinking about Rand, and like Egwene's like, or they're just kind of like, well, we all live in dangerous times. Anyone could die at any minute. And you're just like, what the fuck? What a weird chopping point for this conversation. But all right.
Well, what are you supposed to do? So, it's time to go play with Firecrotch, I believe is the name of this chapter.
Chapter 7, Playing with Fire.
Yeah. Crotch.
So
it's an Egwene point of view.
Yeah, and Elaine, and they go to visit Rand.
I think it's a wonderful idea to bring Egwene as a point of view here, considering the other two options, Elaine or Rand, are far more like this is a wonderful observer kind of thing.
Well, we get it from Elaine and Rand in the next chapter.
Yeah, later on. But I think it's just like bringing her to the door in this fashion is like wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, the two of them, Elaine and Egwene, show up at the door. And Elaine's tits, they're on more display than she is comfortable with.
That's true.
Because she's an Andoran prudish
She's very forward later.
Yes. Also, her definition of forward, like it's fascinating. Like, I would like you to kiss me. Whore! Just throwing tomatoes at her for saying that. So what the fuck?
You had true love. It's just that crazy lady from fuck, what's the name of that movie?
I don't
know. Never ending story in my brain. Fire Swamp, Princess Bride.
Anyway, so we find out that Rand has been throwing a High Lord in the Aiel, betting on how far he'll go. Amazing.
So he throws the idea is that he's been throwing High Lords out of his rooms.
I think it only happened once, and like he kind of came out carrying.
Was that like because it's Gaul talking about it too? Gaul was somebody else, right? So like Gaul and someone else were like, that guy's getting kicked out of here real fast. Let's see how, let's take a bet on how far he slides. And Gaul lost the bet. But what are the chances of that actually happening if it hadn't already happened, right? Like, that's insane.
I think it was literally like they show him carrying, I think it's Torian, High Lord Torian out. And he's just like, oh, get the fuck out of my room kind of thing.
Oh, so in that moment, he's like, past that pillar.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes more sense if it happened quickly, in that moment.
It's Gaul and what's the dude's name who he executes later? Poor fucker.
Oh. I didn't know that was a named Aiel. I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah. It's Mangan, the guy that he has to hang later, and he just feels so bad about it.
No, that's kind of sad. Gaul's friend died?
Yeah.
Are the High Lords trying to do what Bearlane tried? Torium's going in there just going well, hello, Rand.
I love that.
I noticed very much. You haven't been having sex with any of the whores we have around.
So obviously you're into dudes.
Yes, that one. The one that we have trapped in the Stone of Tyr. Yeah.
Good whore, by the way, to keep around. Very attractive and unwilling. Always makes that way worse.
Anyway, yeah. What's the main point of this? Oh yeah, she goes. Egwene and Elena come in and they're like, "Hey, we came to help you." And he's like, "Is this Moraine?" He gets immediately suspicious, and he's like, "Did Moraine send you? What the fuck is this about? What do you mean help me? Help me with what?" That was hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like, "We signed in, of course," and he's like, "That's suspicious as fuck." And I'm just like, it's funny how quickly Rand's getting to that point of these are people that I know and love. I guess Elaine less so, but Egwene. But these are people that I know and love, and how much can I trust them because they've already been spending too much time with the Aes Sedai and shit like that, and specifically Moraine at this moment.
They're definitely not there for the reasons they say they are, but
Yeah, but they kind of are.
They
Have his best
are.
interest at heart. Like there is an ulterior motive, but like that is also why they're there.
I also love the fact that like later on we're gonna see like he reacts so quickly in such a whiplash manner. In several books, I think it's in book 5 or 6. Well, it's got to be 6 or 7 because Perrin's in it. Like that, Perrin smells Rand's thoughts or his emotions, and he's like, no one can change that quickly, no one. And so like, the assumption at the time was like, well, that's like the weird Luz Theron thing going through him, but it happens here. Like it really already has happened. Like the way that like he just whiplashes, like he sees someone and just instantly like angry or crestfallen or whatever the fuck, like that type of like emotional, like just side to side like movement is already there. So I don't know if that's a point in favor or not of the man's very strange mental state, but good to know it happens early.
That's true.
I would like to note an important occasion we learned from when he was 13. Rand and Matt stole some apple brandy and got drunk as fuck.
They got drunk.
Yeah.
They got drunk, laughing, pushing each other into bushes, fell asleep outside behind a Queen's house. Super normal stuff.
Super normal, actually.
And the way I love the way he remembers it is like we were so drunk still when they woke us up that we didn't like feel getting punished, like when we were getting like, you know, whipped or whatever the fuck in the town square. And then Anna Gween's like, that's not how I remember it at all. I remember you squealing like a
pig,
like a little pig.
Yeah.
I like Elaine, how Elaine convinces him that they're not being like manipulative just by basically, I don't know, weird move telling him the truth.
What is the deal with that?
Weird.
Yeah.
We don't get a lot of this for much longer.
I also
this is teeter chattering on the brink of I hate Elaine moments, by the way. We're almost there.
Not yet.
It's not yet, but it's close.
I'm responding to my wife about my next drink.
I wonder if I always kind of hate Elaine, at least a little bit, because I like men. No, I don't hate Avienda. I love Avienda.
Yeah, I don't hate Avienda either.
I always wish Min had a different name because I love how funny it was, because like it's just such a bizarre like juxtaposition of like I like her because I like men. Like, huh.
Why don't you just say the long way? Just say Elmendretta.
I love Elmendretta. You know what? That sounds like a weird like gonna get that tattoo just above my penis. And grow my pubes.
I don't think I understand the joke.
I don't know.
There is no joke.
It's just a funny thing to get tattooed above your penis, I think.
I guess.
Because the penis is small.
Oh, Glenn said it's a rare character. I like all of the Aiel almost.
What the fuck?
Shocking statement, Glenn. I like Avienda, a rare character among the Aiel that I like. Anyway.
It just what Aiel do? I'm fascinated by that. Like,
masturbates while Rand fucks,
man. That's a great show. Or a great show. Great chapter.
Rand just likes Elaine because Luz Theron was married to Lyanna.
That's what I always. Maybe that's part of it, like too, because it just felt like she was like, physically she matched like his old like love. So like you know that's
so Min is the new love.
Elaine's goodbye, my love. Yeah.
Well, Min and Avienda combined too. Like I think both of them. Anyway.
Yeah, Elaine is just she's the physical embodiment of jerking off to a picture of your old girlfriend or something. It's weird, and you shouldn't do it.
I just love it. The last little bit of that you squeezed in, and you just shouldn't do it.
You shouldn't do it.
I had a hard time making it through that.
Anyway, they figure out the goosebumps. My only note there was like I always forget that's where he learns this. For some reason, it's just like this is very forgettable to me. And then later on, when he's using it all the time, I completely lose track of the fact that Egwene and Elaine.
I think
it's a very worthwhile chapter. It's like, you know.
I think this is one of my favorite chapters in the entire series. Really, like it brings out like so much of like Rand's relative strength compared to Egwene, who's amazing, who shouldn't do it again. Yeah, DK Moon.
And again and
It's in
again,
there.
and again,
Again.
all the time.
We can make some assumptions about like Nynaeve's strength, like everything about this really puts. So much
there's some really
perspective.
cool shit that happens here,
And like
about the
I also think
strength
it's like a
of the
very
people
like
involved.
yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
very interesting, like showing of like what all like Egwene's knowledge of channeling and how different it is than average like Aes Sedai. Because she's like, well, I learned this elsewhere. Because she says several times, like, I learned a lot of stuff outside the tower, and therefore, I bet I can learn. Like, I'm not sure I trust what they've told me, and I don't. I think she's actually fully right with that. On the other hand,
like with Moraine outside the tower.
no, when she was captured like by the Shanchan, like she learns a lot.
Oh
like,
yeah,
of
yeah.
random
yeah.
shit. Like
I was
she's
like,
learned a
what are you
lot.
talking about? Oh yeah, she did learn a lot.
And
He
the fact
uses
is
this
that the
all the time.
Aes Sedai are fucking awful teachers. Like in reality. Sorry, I gotta get a drink.
Yeah,
Trying
good.
to
Yeah,
just rip off like 30 farts and leave the room.
like 30 parts.
It's hard to ignore, right? Am I wrong?
Oh, the other. I can't concentrate. Oh, I'm hearing is Jono ripping farts.
Sorry about the chair. Also, my wife was bringing me ice and a drink. Anyway, but like I think it's extremely interesting how like she has a drastically different viewpoint that I don't disagree with. That like you can learn weird shit outside the tower. The fact is that the Aes Sedai, as we see even more later and later, they don't know a
Elaine learning
fucking
from the
thing.
Windfinders, Quiet Man.
Yes, like so she's not.
There's a
wrong
lot of
with
that
this
with
idea.
with Nynaeve, Elaine, and Egwene specifically.
Yeah, they expand on that in the whole series.
Yeah, so she's not wrong with the idea that like you know what, maybe these guys don't know fuck all because we
I
don't
didn't-
ever try to teach a man.
I didn't read the rest of my note. I always forget this where he learns this. I guess it's the one good thing Elaine does.
How fucking dare you? She also teaches him some very important lessons on economics.
That's true.
Which I love.
I kind of like that. I kind of like that too. Well, not the economics part, just the how to deal with dickhead like lords and shit like that. Just in general, like the whole in general shit.
We do very much ignore that as a point in her favor. Like we're always discuss like, oh, and he spent
It's
months
great
on
when
the
she
road
teaches
and
the
at Fall
farm
Dara
boy.
learning the sword from Lan, and then we're just she does all this stuff.
Boo this bitch. Yeah.
No. Well, so that's the point, though. At this point, I'm not.
Whatever.
It's great that she teaches him about dealing with lords and ladies and all that kind of like aristocracy bullshit. What's not okay is that she fully embodies that later on.
That is deeply ironic.
That's when I fucking hate it.
Maybe she's a big fan of irony and just trying to like, well, then what happened, Ran? Dress me down, slap me around.
When do I turn on her? Is it this book?
It's later on in this book. It's like 3 chapters from now.
It's literally later on this book.
It's unfortunately 3 chapters from now. But for now,
it starts with the dueling letters she writes to Rand, but that's next episode.
Yeah, so we'll get to that later.
Why did no Aes Sedai reverse their weaves when the Asharans attacked?
What the heck?
I don't know. That's the last battle shit right there.
What the heck?
Unless
Spoilers.
wait for it. What? Maybe it's a joke, right? Like what? Why, Wild Man Wyatt?
Oh well, Glenn said, "What do you mean, Wyatt?" And he said, "It hides channeling, and the Sharns killed a bunch of Aes Sedai because they sensed channeling." Okay,
It says SEN. Yeah.
Which is fine.
That's a terrible joke. That's a terrible joke.
They thought so. They thought they were powerful. I love this from Egwene. They thought they were powerful, and they had just been quote severely disabused. I love. She basically goes
amazing.
Like, he would have like so. Basically, he demonstrates a lot of shit with the side in, including shielding them both, and then he's like melting shit, and like tables are dancing around, and all kinds of crazy shit is going on. He's got some real Fantasia shit going on right now.
Does Jordan walk this back a little bit? Because he's like, I feel like in the early books, he's implying that Rand is like 100 times stronger than anybody else.
I mean, I think it was just his innate ability to like kind of tap into like what Luce Theron could do. Meaning like he's at the top level of his skill in terms of like handling multiple weaves at the same time, where I don't think it was like power level per se. Because like right now, she basically says like, I mean, it's not just power level is what I'm saying. Like there was a lot of like how he was handling so many weaves at the same time and doing all this shit at the same time. And she basically says something like, we could have done 2 or 3 and that would have been a lot and we would be exhausted afterwards. And he's just walking around like nothing's wrong kind of thing. Like he's totally fine. And I think that's the part of like maybe Luce Theron's like kind of peeking in there with ability, not necessarily power level, but like ability wise.
So I think there's 3 things. One is you're exactly right that like strength wise is very important, but secondly, there's deftness, and I think that's one of the things that, to me, this is an extremely important chapter because Egwene says like earlier, like she could never, like the chapter previous, she could never have done what Moraine did when it came to skill. When it came to how quick
his skill is like
Moraine did
obnoxiously high for like who and how he's training.
Give me a second, like weave this all together. Otherwise I'll get drunk and forget.
Oh, you're gonna do the weave?
Yeah. But like Moraine could undo and redo the fucking bonds as fast as possible, and like Egwene, even though she was stronger, couldn't do it. In this case, she also in this chapter she tries to heal. She's like, I've never done anything that complicated, even though it's a pretty standard weave. She's never done anything that complicated, but she's just holding more. She mentions how much
she's also watched like Nynaeve do it a bunch of times or whatever. Yeah.
But she's holding such an amount that Moraine herself would probably either be burnt out or just lying on the ground. Like done. And then Rand comes along, and so she's feeling understandably very confident. Like she's been bumped up like 1,000 years, good on you. And then Rand comes and does this insanity to her, like on another fucking level. And the question is, like, is he doing 12 at once?
He's doing Fantasia in the room the Ottomans are walking.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of brooms tossing buckets of water around.
But the thing is he doing 12 weeks at once?
Elaine's floating around on a giant book. What's happening?
The fucking brooms walking.
Yeah, you'll open the door and all the water pours out, and they're like, "What are you doing with all this water?"
It's only one weave. It's like the question is though, like whether or not he's doing it in one large weave as opposed to multiple weaves at once. Because I think there's something that goes on later on that talks about.
Because he's like melting shit on the mantelpieces and then like doing other stuff.
But what if you can definitely do it all weirdly? Like, because there's not 12 different things happening, really. There's like 4 or 5. She just feels like they're different things. So his skill and his strength are beyond. Like skill and deftness.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I'm just saying, like, to Tom's point, it just feels like in this moment, maybe RJ was making him seem way more powerful, just power level wise, more than
the implication to me. More than he should. Was like way more, and then
he is. He's like on another magnitude. So by 10.
Yeah, but Nynaeve would have had the same feeling. I thought she'd be like 1,000 times higher than him.
Yeah, I like Elaine. Like Nynaeve is not close-ish to him. I think he's at least double her. Like as far as like
she's just what like super powerful for a lady.
For a lady. I think she's super powerful in general. She's as strong as one of the Forsaken. But he is strong as the strongest Forsaken. It's just another degree.
Okay. Yeah, anyone current that's not him.
Oh yeah.
Seems to be like, it's diminished from the Age of Legends. The one power is, or their ability to control the one power.
It really feels like almost like timelines a step.
So it doesn't matter how strong they are. He's just going to be leaps and bounds above.
Yeah. So it's been 3,000 years. They're the strongest in the last 1,000. They're still almost a third of what the strongest person at the time was.
Yeah, but
it's
like
not
that Moghedien is like huge in the power or anything, but like in strength wise, but like Nynaeve, like match for Moghedien, maybe more, probably more.
She's one of the 13 strongest at the time, so she's still extremely strong.
13.
We call them the Chosen. Anyway,
Grotzen.
They talk about the differences between Side-R and Side-In, which is really where this.
Wait a minute, the Forsaken were the 13 strongest in the power as well, right? The 13 strongest also just
not necessarily. They're the 13 strongest that went to the Dark One.
Yeah, that were they were chosen there for a reason. Like that's
but not 13 necessarily.
Why don't we ever hear about anybody besides Luce Theron? Like there must have been like a Billy that he was friends with that also fought the Forsaken.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, sure. He had 100 companions.
Yeah, that was the guy's name.
His name. It was just one guy. It was just one guy. His name was 100.
It's just that one guy that killed everybody while they were singing around him, and they're
That's amazing.
somebody
wait
called
to see
Blue, somebody called Blue Stern, and you're like, you might want to reevaluate who your
Just
circle.
went Super Saiyan and just ripped all those poor tree guys apart.
Yeah, I'd go ahead and unfollow all of these people on Instagram. They're terrible.
So the conversation here, though, like the subtlety of this conversation is that they can't teach him, which they already knew, but it just confirmed it. But also, like, it's really just a long conversation setting up Asmodean and the rest of this book. Really, it's just like kind of right. Like it's just like it's like one little piece of like moving Rand in the direction of like, I need a fucking teacher before I can do anything. Like I know Moraine wants me to start a war, and I know all this, like all these things need to happen, and all these prophecies need to be fulfilled. But until I do this, I can't move forward, and I don't know how to do that. So I'm gonna go in this direction.
Unintentionally,
Yeah, the Dumbledore Award for best teacher in this book is actually Lanford. She's the only one that knows what he needs.
By the way, that's a great.
I wonder if we awarded her that.
I don't know.
So to your point, like this unintentionally, this section has everything about that, right? Like, so at the beginning, like we have this part, like, well, it looks like we really have to determine a woman cannot teach a man has to. In a little bit, we've got this thing going on with what's her name? Those who turned Capital too. That like Lanfear clearly talks about what all she would do with Rand if she could fuck him. She's like, if you want, like I can get you a fucking teacher right now. Like there's so much going on.
We're skipping forward so many chapters.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like what I'm saying is like ironically, the whole thing, or not ironically, like unintentionally, this whole section tees up the Dumbledore Award for Best Teacher, and Rand realizes it, and then again, like the funny part is that like Moraine's like tries to recite this fucking thing from the prophecy, and then Rand's like, oh, instead of going west, though I go east, and here it all fucking fits together perfectly with a shitty, perfect teacher in Asmodean. I really wish the guy lived longer.
So here's a question: Do you think they? Not inadvertently, but like just the subtlety of like what's going on in his mind. Do you think they influenced like what he asked the Finns? Like, just this conversation made him go like, "Oh shit, maybe I should ask this instead." Like, because he's been thinking about it, obviously. So it's just like one of those things. I'm like, I wonder if this like really veered where he went with like what he was, because previous to this, maybe he was like, "What do the prophecies mean? Shit, that involves the shadow," or what? Like, who knows? Like what he was thinking about asking them, but like. Clearly, what he asked them points him in the direction of the waste. And like,
what if he walked in and he just goes, "Do I ever get to fuck Elaine?" And they're like, "Yes." And he's like, "Do I ever get to fuck Elaine?"
Absolutely.
Like, "Do I ever get to fuck Evie?" And it's like, "Yes." Like, I'm out.
Thanks.
See you later.
And then after he has sex with all three and gets married to all three, like in his older years, he's just like, "What if I had 6 questions?"
There's some chick on the other side who's like, "What if I had a 4th question?"
Yeah, one of those wolves is like, "Ask about me." Ask about me. Or the foxes. The foxes. One of those wolves probably wants to bang him too.
They help him get to a spot where he realized, like, no matter what he did next, he had to learn to use side R or side in, or everything else wouldn't work. Like nothing else. He'd always be too weak. Like if he went against Samuel now in Alien, he wouldn't win. And
That's
like and so on and so on.
Yeah. I had a weird question that just occurred to me randomly.
Yeah.
Do any of the lady wolves that Perrin talks to, like when he's casting out or anything, are any of them sexually attracted to him?
100%. Yeah. No, I think they all know like he's
I don't think we've ever talked about
they're all aware he's not really a wolf. But
no,
they live in a dream, General.
The world of dreams. Like, wolf's a wolf. A man's a wolf. You know. I mean, like, you know.
How many wolves want to fuck Perrin? He's basically like.
All right, what's the frog-faced boy that like becomes a wolf?
Nobody wants to fuck that guy, Simeon.
Yeah, Simeon, but he becomes a wolf, like in the world of dreams. Like he is a wolf. Then, like, is he having sex in the world of dreams?
But he dies eventually. Like if Perrin dies, he's going to live in the wolf dream as a wolf. There's gonna be other lady
Yeah.
wolves.
Yeah,
around.
when Perrin dies, can he be a man in the world of dreams as well as a wolf, or does he live on in the world of dreams as just a wolf?
I guess so.
Did
If
he
you're
forget?
Perrin-
Did he forget he was a man in the
How long is
wolf
Perrin
dream after he
How long
dies?
is Perrin in the afterlife world of dreams with just nothing but wolves before he's just like, yeah, fuck that one. And then does he do it as a man or as a wolf?
I don't know.
I mean, here's a
Or
question.
both. You go back and
Let's
forth
see.
all you want, I guess.
Well, he's got a lipstick dick either way, so like it's
Yeah,
to the wolf
It's
to
not
the
gonna change
female wolf.
anything.
It's the same. It's the same. It's
But
all it's
World
one
of
and the same.
Dreams, you're in the world of dreams. If you don't get her, can't you just create a version of her?
Oh, so you just create like a mind palace filled with sex slaves? What are you, Grendel now?
Maybe.
I guess if you're in
What
the world of
about-
dreams long enough,
Say Perrin
Yeah.
died.
Go
and
in-
he's in the world of
do you
dreams.
go
and he's fucking
insane?
Say Perrin dies and he's in the world of dreams and he's fucking a wolf as a man though. Well, you think like Lanfear would like sneaking around as a Forsaken, like from the weird star field, would be like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
There's some dreamwalker millions of years later is like, whoa.
The weird
Does
part is
Perrin
when
having
you
a
go to
dream
work-
affair count as cheating?
No.
He has
With the wolves?
so many vivid wet dreams.
Does Perrin having a dream bang session with a wolf count as bestiality?
Yeah, what if at some point in the future after the last battle, is Fael and Perrin just like, is Perrin like, oh yeah, my wolf wife in the dream, and she's like, wait, what?
Like she but eventually she dies, and eventually Perrin dies, but then Perrin's in the wolf dream and she's just dead. Then he mopes for 287 years, let's say.
What you
Yeah.
don't
And then
know is he
eventually-
instantly was like,
It's at least
success.
287 times.
At least. And then eventually he gets horny again.
Oh man,
287.
these are all great questions.
There's a lot of questions to have here.
I just thought about that because I said wolf instead of fox by accident when I said one of them wanted to fuck Miranda. I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, all right. Well, man, chat said a lot of things that I don't think I can catch up on.
You don't need to. Let's move on to the next chapter.
Should we talk about the fact that Rand is a little bit of a one power diddler? Grabbing ass. Disgusting.
I mean, he didn't grab her ass. He pinched her ass.
What is that like on his end?
Is it like
Meaningless?
a Green Lantern ring? Like or is it like he can feel it? Is it an extension of his hand?
like a tentacle?
I don't
like
think
an octopus?
he feels it. I don't think he feel it. The weirdest part is she didn't wafted that air together and was like.
So it
Also,
does
whatever
nothing
they do
for
to
him.
him is 1,000 times. They must like just slap his ass so hard with the one.
Yeah, it's a Gwyn pretty much.
Do they
just
snap him? Is it like a whip, like a towel, like in the men's locker room? What do they do to him?
Yeah,
It
it's
hurts
like
like a
Charlie
mother.
horses his rectum, like just a quick punch and he's like, oh.
Oh! Yeah, that maybe it was air dildo. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Had to
you
be
better
worse.
get used to it, motherfucker. Yeah, that's what that is.
Oh fuck! All right, next chapter.
I'm
Great.
trying to
Hardheads?
think if there's anything else.
Well, Gwyn breaks up with the Rand next chapter.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, but there is a real cute thing here.
Oh,
We
That's
don't cover
true.
cute things.
this day in history,
Yeah, fuck it.
Tom said, "We don't really talk about touching moments." Me referencing
Shit.
that.
Have I not grown at all?
Well, your point was like we're cramming a lot more chapters back in the day, Tom, in your defense. But also I was like, are we more sensitive now? Have we grown? And clearly Tom's response would be no.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little.
That's not true. We talk about nice moments in these books at all.
Your
the
mom's
time.
a cute thing, Jono.
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh, to piggyback on Tom's idea, does Perrin being with a wolf who takes the form of a woman?
Oh wait, oh yeah, the wolf can also change. Wait, can the wolves change into people form? We've never seen that.
They're in the
I
world
don't
of dreams. Why can't they?
Have it-
It's
yeah,
We've
but
never
different.
seen it.
We've never seen it. They don't use it in that way, but I don't see why they wouldn't be able to. They seem to be masters of the world of dreams. So maybe they've just never had a reason, you know? Maybe there's never
Maybe
been a
Perrin
sexy
starts dating a
man
wolf
like
lady,
that.
and he's like, turn into a lady, and she's like, turn into a wolf.
And he's like, why don't, maybe I'll turn into a wolf, you turn into a lady. How about that? We're both
Maybe we go back
Okay.
and forth.
Yeah.
We go
Well,
wolf on
switch
wolf,
it up.
wolf on man, woman on wolf.
Why
Why
would
not?
they? Is the question the wolf would ask. Consensual sex, Glenn. Not being in a wolf form is demeaning to a wolf. Oh, interesting. Is it?
What about
it's
a
what if-
guy who looks like a
What
wolf?
if Dream Parent tried to get the Dream Lady Wolf to turn into?
Man, we're really going hard on this, aren't we?
And she was
hard
just
on.
like, no. But then he put Dream Peanut Butter on his dick.
Uh-oh.
Well, then they're in. They can't resist that. Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's like the Fimbots.
It's like cocaine.
Yeah.
All right.
Next chapter.
So Elaine waits in the
I love
room,
it
which
stuff.
I think is hilarious because it takes Rand like 30 seconds to realize that she's still there because he just broke up with the queen. And he's like,
I
still
do
thinking
like
about
the
it. And then he
fact
turns
that-
around and he's like, oh, God,
Oh.
damn. All right. Fuck, you're still here?
The funny thing is, they were never dating.
They were like betrothed in a weird Two Riversy way, though. Everyone
Yeah.
knows it. Everyone knows.
Did you not watch the show? In the show, they had sex.
Yeah, they used
That's
to
it.
fuck in the wine spring inn all the time.
Oh yeah, I forgot they aged them up for no reason.
Yeah. Well, that's
I
not
think
true.
they aged them up
aged
to make it work.
so they could have sex in the wine spring inn. And guess what the wine spring is? His cum.
You didn't even give me a chance to guess.
My takeaway for tonight's episode is wolf sex.
You know who else's takeaway that is?
In the world of dreams.
In the world of dreams.
In the world of our dreams. Anyway, Elaine's taking a page out of Barrelane's playbook here and going real strong.
Just starts rimming him out.
I like.
My biggest takeaway from covering these books the entire time is how unfair we were and everyone is to Barrelane.
I completely agree. Listening to our old podcast, I was like, wow, she's not who we interpret her to be in this moment in time.
Yeah.
By
In
any
what
stretch.
way? No. I'm fascinated by that.
We went pretty hard in the like, she's throwing herself at Rand, and here's why, blah blah blah. You know, not
Like the
not
High Lords
in a
are like,
horrible
she's a-
way, but like just
The High Lords are like,
Not
she's
a lot of,
fuck girl. The
like-
ladies are like, she's a slut. She's not that at all.
no, she's not.
Hold
She's
on.
trying to
She literally
unimprison
says
herself.
she says later on that she has had sex for like state reasons. I'm not
Well,
saying
also
that's
Moraine,
slutty.
well, Moraine even says
I don't-
like that's someone else's cult, like their culture in Mayan is. like,
Yeah,
different.
I'm not saying that's wrong at all.
Yeah.
Like that's you got to do what you got to do, and if she enjoyed it, then fuck yeah, double work there. But that's radically different than what these
She's more of a
Andorran bitches get.
victim than we give.
Yeah, that's
Acknowledge.
that's what I am agreeing with. Tom on.
I don't
Aggressively.
disagree there. She has been held captive in the Stone of Tyr for months. I don't disagree there. On the other hand,
And then she's there and she's like, hey, these dirty old men are keeping me captive in the stone. And all the other ladies are just like, slut. It's like-
it's funny, right?
anyway,
'Cause
thanks for the
there's,
help.
two standards, and I'm a man. Yeah. It is funny though. It's because she's a woman. Again, I don't disagree with that. On the other hand, she certainly does not, at least in this depiction here, and I've got nothing else to show differently. She embraces it and just fucking goes with it.
Elaine does.
No, it's about Barrelane still. God
Oh.
damn it. Yeah.
No. Why are we still talking about Barrelane?
That was what the whole thing Tom was like left like and then ran out on. Right, Tom?
Yeah. When Tom runs off, I
Or
lose
it'll
track
say-
of what we're talking about. You know, it's
right.
easier to forget.
So back to the point here of chapter 8, dickheads.
Mm-hmm. All right, they talk about fondness, which I think is hilarious. I'm fond of you, Rand, which I find like an adorable. And then by the end of the chapter, she's like, "Just make out with me, you fucking idiot." And he's like, "Oh, well,
So
all right."
I don't know. I talked with Maria about this, and it ends up there was a issue with the spell check. It was fondle the entire time. It was just an L missing the
I would
entire
like to
time.
fondle you. Okay.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes more sense actually.
They didn't know how to spell fondle because there was an L and an E. But
Arian doesn't
yeah,
have that word in her vocabulary, so like when she was editing, she just like that obviously means fondness, right?
yeah. Unfondle you.
What I have a question for you. Would they have gotten together without Barrelane's seduction previous to this? Because of that attempt, like it's pushing Elaine into, which she references multiple times in this small section, of like how uncomfortable she is being this forward, and like, but that's really what tips the scales in the brief period of time they had together to like get together.
I gotta be honest,
she's being way more forward than she would have been otherwise.
Presumably,
it was
the answer
Caroline
is yes.
that like made her like go for it, so to speak. I guess what I'm saying.
It's got to be yes, because if it weren't for if Bearline is not the option,
Well, it's a mid viewing, so it's got to be yes.
Hey,
but like,
but
when would it have would have happened in the same way? Like, I feel like Bearline trying to do what she was trying to do really tips the timeline
I feel
forward.
Like
versus
if it's not Bearline, it's going to be someone that the Lords of Tyr send, just like what happens in Carrion in the next book or in a couple books from now. If like someone's trying to fuck the Dragon Reborn at all time. And if it's not Bearline, it's going to be some other floozy, and therefore Elaine still would have seen it. I'm not fucking serious. Like that's really what they did, right? Like they tried to just like, if there's going to be some chick who tries to blow Rand, and Rand just gives her a weird swimming lesson, and she runs away, and as you do. So I think the answer is it was going to happen anyway. Plus, as you said, men viewing.
Yeah, that's true. A beauty contest between Lanfear and Bearline. Who wins, boys?
So I guess by definition it's Lanfear, but I'd watch the fuck
man
out
said
of it.
when you got tits for days, you make it work.
It's true.
I don't know. Well, I mean,
I said something nice about Bearline, and then I went to get a drink, and I came back. I was like, "When you got tits for days, you make it work."
Welcome back.
The question is a beauty contest between Lanfear and Bearline.
Lanfear is hotter, right? Because Lanfear is hot when she's doing the mirror, looking young, and then when she takes it off and she's older, she's hotter.
Yeah. And that's something that we'll talk about later on. So the answer is like, unless you're and I have no problem whatsoever.
You can't be Lanfear unless you're like the hottest.
Lanfear, Tom says Lanfear, Jono. Lanfear,
well, again, there are some guys that are like, you know what? Face whatever, I'm tits and ass, or I'm tits and legs, or whatever the fuck. So, like, there are plenty of options that would lead you to go Bearline, who does seem to have the larger rack. That being said, I think by definition it's Lanfear.
I mean, like, granted, this is just based on book description, so it's very hard to answer this question.
What's the other option?
I don't even think their descriptions are that dissimilar.
Yeah, I'd say they're so similar that I would have to like lead into personality or something, and then Lanfear is fucking insane. So I would
it wouldn't be crazy if you were reading book 4 for the first time ever, and just be like, wait, is Bearline Lanfear in disguise?
Yeah, it wouldn't be insane at all to think that. Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I think that's a bizarre. If you
Lanfear's eyes that makes her less attractive. Glenn and I agree.
First off, Glenn.
Yeah, everybody likes
wrong. Every woman has an insane light in her eyes.
Oh, DK said there's no other woman when Lanfear's in the room. God damn, he's not wrong.
That's actually correct.
Like Blinded Fool said,
that's not true.
Or kill Lanfear would not marry. That's
in the book too.
We need a third.
Lanfear is there with men.
Why wouldn't you marry Lanfear? Yeah. That would be a roller coaster. It would be fantastic.
It'd be awful. Like, let's be honest. It'd be fucking awful.
Christian Rapper said, so RJ had the 2 most beautiful women in the world constantly getting rejected by men. LOL, was that on purpose? Maybe.
Probably because they were both supposed to be Harriet and he wouldn't let anybody near them.
Did you hear this?
The model for my wife.
She was called.
No one's going to have sex with them in the books. Anyway, Elaine and
terrible
Rand. Back to Elaine and Rand.
Oh yeah.
They start their makeout sessions. It's hilarious when she says, "You're uncouth and you haven't shaved this morning, but I wouldn't change it." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
It's very
Elaine's just like, dirty farm boy, right up my alley.
It is very high school for a minute here.
Yeah.
Well, in fairness, she's supposed to be 17 or so. So that's.
Oh, Elaine also wonders if Bearline is one of the girls in men's viewing,
and she's not that angry. You know why that is?
No, she's not angry, but she's like, I'd be upset if that was the case, and I'm not.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's gonna be upset either way because she's a woman, so it's okay. Feels like a pass for Rand.
Lara would fuck kill than fuck Lanfear. Master rapist?
Not just Lanfear. Literally
That's
anyone.
true.
No, that being said, Fuck Kill Fuck is an amazing. He might marry the corpse just as a joke.
Mhm.
Yeah. Put that back up. I feel like that should be on our show.
What?
I just want to highlight that
Three-pronged plan?
personally.
It was on there.
No, not
I know-
that.
I know-
The
You know that
actual quote.
Do
Yeah.
you know the episode of Friends where Joey's eating all the jam?
Oh, did you hear the difference?
And Chandler just goes, "Hey, do you want to have sex with that girl from the copy place? Or have a big jar of jam?" And Joey just goes, "Put your hands together." And that's all. Now I'm thinking about that for Millar. She's like, "Hey, do you want to fuck her or kill her?" He's like, "Put your hands together."
Can I get a third hand here?
Oh man.
Hey, real quick before we finish this chapter, Joe,
Yeah.
we got a couple more notes. One of which is
Before we finish chapter 8, we
You know
haven't
the
even talked
difference
about
between
Matt
jam
in the
and marmalade?
doorway.
Joe.
I mean, what chapter 8? Yeah, we got a lot.
Joe, do you know the difference
it
between
Matt?
jam and marmalade?
Oh no.
It doesn't work on me anymore.
I said Joe.
12 years.
I can't
didn't-
marmalade my dick down your throat.
Oh, is that what it is? Thanks, Jono.
You know what you
Never
do?
not
You
funny.
need to start changing the punchline.
I can't spread marmalade on my jam. Did you and Egwene come up with this, Randas?
Yes,
So,
Mike.
which
Yes,
I
Mike.
thought was hilariously insightful. And then they're like, she's like,
No.
how dare you? What do you think we do? Hang around talking about men, pass them back and forth each other like packages? And he's like, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So that's
And he's
called
like,
snowballing, right?
No.
Like that's
Yeah, when you pass back and forth the ejaculate.
Hold on. I'm going to go get a glass of milk and I'll do a demonstration of snowballing. for you.
In the scream math.
this would be my favorite episode ever. Just
two glasses of milk.
Anyway, we're not ending this chapter, but we're ending this section. The High Lords come in and start talking to Rand, and she leaves.
What a
Let's jump to Matt Murray or Egwene.
Yeah, I mean, I want to. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I mean, they talk about taxes and shit, and Rand yells at them, and he throws another High Lord down the hallway, and Gaul loses another bed, I think.
So this is chapter 8, right?
It does. I will say real quick though, they do point out how Rand is like protecting Berlane constantly from the High Lords again, like in this moment, like he's kind of like, what the fuck? Like she didn't need to do that. And now that she did try to seduce me because of the fact she's trapped here, I'm going to force you dickheads to like be good to her and like, give her some treaties, treatises.
All right, my time is short, so let's do Matt and Egwene, and then let's do Lanfear and Rand.
Why is it, another High Lord tries to fuck Rand?
There we go.
One of the wolves is probably named Snowball.
No.
Why no? There's nothing wrong with
Sorry. All right. Egwene is in the hallway, then Matt walks up to her and he's like freaking the fuck out, basically. Which I find kind of adorable that he's reaching out to Egwene. / I guess by extension Nynaeve as well. But like he's reaching out to the Two Rivers people that he knows can maybe help him,
Egwene has such a soft spot for Matt.
She does, but she also finds like her ideas of who he is so far off from like not that he's doing anything to portray himself differently. Don't get me wrong.
It is, I guess, but she sees him a little more clearly than a lot of other people do.
That's true.
I don't disagree necessarily, but read about what happened here.
I don't know if she sees him more clearly, Tom. Hold on, Jono. I don't know if she sees him more clearly, or is she more forgiving of what she thinks?
Maybe, I guess maybe she's constantly surprised by how. Then again, I don't know. Why would she tell him about the doorway?
But insane. But, all right, sorry, Jono. Go ahead.
But no, I don't disagree. It's like Tom, your point's fucking fully correct, and Joe, your
or
point
is it part
too.
of her? It's part of her personality that she kind of wishes she was more like Matt.
I think that's 100% right. That's
I think her and Nynaeve, to an extent, see a certain amount of freedom with the way Matt treats his life. That they're like, I wish I had that sort of. I'm kind of jealous of him in a way.
What's actually we should probably write that down somewhere because it's smart. And I'll go with a moderately not dumb point, but one of the things that I found very interesting about this chapter, which I don't know if we remember it well enough, is so Matt kind of talks about the fact that he still has that, or he still had past tense the letter from the Amirlan, and they came into his room and just tossed him up with air and tossed his whole room until they got the letter.
Oh yeah.
They never once asked for it. He literally says, "If you'd asked, I would have given it to you." Now, granted, that could be a little bullshit because it's Matt Cawthon.
Yeah,
but the fact is, but it's not that far off from the truth. Like he's not an outright liar. He's a step over the truth kind of thing versus step on it. Like that shows how fucking just bizarre this was as a thing. And I don't know. The whole thing just kind of smells like, God damn it. Just treat Matt with a little bit of respect. Yeah.
I always like his relationship with Nynaeve and Egwene, not Elaine.
Yeah.
Really?
Also, by the way, on the note of like, when do I start hating Elaine? In this bit with Egwene and Matt, he literally says something along the lines of, "You're always hanging out with Moraine, who is an Aes Sedai, and I don't want to be around her. No offense," kind of thing. But then he also goes, "And Elaine, who always has her nose stuck up in the air." And I'm just his evaluation of her, like with his minds, I'm like, he's not wrong. Kind of thing.
The one moment of Matt, of current Matt that you get in early books is when Nynaeve gets hurt at the end of the first book and he freaks the fuck out and charges in and almost gets injured. Like, he does love them. They love him.
He does, yeah. They love him like an annoying younger brother that constantly gets away with shit. Like he comes in late and the parents don't yell at him, kind of thing.
But so why would Egwene tell him about she knows he's going.
I think Egwene recognizes that she'd want to go through the doorway in Matt's position and is also curious what will happen while grasping at straws to help him. That's the most insightful take on why she would say that.
Hey, light blinded fool, you are banned from the show for being
great.
Great.
She wants to go, so she's like, just.
I think that's wildly.
You're wildly accurate and therefore not drunk enough, not dumb enough. Like,
how dare you?
Also, it's crazy Egwene doesn't go. Egwene would go. Like later, Egwene would have absolutely gone through the doorway. I
think book 5 and beyond, Egwene has probably gone 3 different times.
Is my audio choppy for you?
No.
Okay. Glenn, it might just be you, but I don't know. Maybe it's coming bad through the stream. I don't know. I guess it's a little too late to fuck with shit now.
But I think that book 5 and beyond, Egwene, she goes through that red door. That's not a vaginal menstrual thing. She goes through it. Like, she tries twice. I think she will not be helping.
Yeah, maybe I'm conflating her later personality with this book.
It's almost surprising that they don't go back to Tyr, considering the fact that like Rand still holds Tyr.
Yeah,
like the fact that this has no relevance later on is kind of strange.
The doorway?
Yeah. Seriously, like,
where does this one go?
Also, like Nynaeve in the next chapter, Nynaeve mentions sending all the great store or whatever they call it, the great holding of all the shit.
Yeah, this goes.
She mentioned sending it back. Like she's like, it would take 10 riverboats to send that up to Tarvalon. Do they send it? You
may be right. Yeah, you may be right. Obviously, the first one goes west.
It doesn't stay here, right? Like all of them move, right? Because it goes with the prisoners, doesn't it?
Well, guess good news about the prisoners. They don't go very far.
Well,
they die in prison.
What happens to this doorway? Where does it go?
Where does it come from?
We'll have to pay attention on our re-reread.
or at least one of us can look it up online because we're drunk.
Nah, that'd be ridiculous. Right. That's cheating, John.
Good spell.
Move to chapter 9, Cotton Eye Joe.
Ridiculous.
Let's wait. To see.
What do you think the Finns are thinking? Within a single day, they get 3 visitors, and before it had been like however many years.
We don't know how time works there. It could have been yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Wow, come on.
Now they look like they're starving.
Yeah, like
Do they just?
do you think they were just like, holy shit, doorway is on fire today?
Maybe they have their own prophet.
Because it's been like 1,000 years since some idiot went through it.
What if you're a Finn and your job is to be the guy that stands in front of the doorway and you're like, what a cake fucking job?
Yeah. And then one day you're just like, Jesus Christ, I have to check in 3 people? I don't even know where
I was thinking the opposite. I was thinking the opposite. Like, what's your job? Like, I don't have to do a goddamn thing. And then it's 3 people. What the fuck is this? Like, I'm fucking
just trying to.
They probably have people from other dimensions and Portal Stone worlds coming through. That's a very fair point.
Oh, okay. The Beastie Boys plan.
Yeah, but if it's like the Ministry of Magic and there's a lot of fireplaces for people to land through, I feel like it's just one's just been quiet for a long time.
No, it's not.
You know?
It's dusty in there. It's dusty. No one's been.
Yeah, they're hungry, aren't they? Yeah.
My pussy is a flu network on fire.
I wonder how long that guy's been in charge of the doorway, like for ages, because he's still like excited.
Is it just the shittiest Finn, like the one that's just like, oh, here comes Doug. God damn it. Just give him the job where he just looks at the door all fucking day.
Do you think they have that meeting? They're like, all right, you guys are on the pedestals. You guys are the chasers and the killers. If anybody tries to run away, you're on the door.
Who's the dude in Prisoner of Azkaban when Harry gets to the fucking leaky cauldron, like in the movie, who's just like, crunching the things and just like showing him over and over? The bald-headed guy. That guy's amazing. What's that?
Vaguely recall that. Go on.
Oh man, that guy could be he could be a fucking Finn or an EL.
Are you saying the Wheel Time's a ripoff of Harry Potter?
Tom, everything's a ripoff of Harry Potter. We all know that.
I know.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's been said on this podcast by you, Joe, and me.
Yeah, I know. It is.
You would probably get off on those 3 showed up. Holy shit. He's just coming in his pants the second they walk.
That's the other thing. They are getting off. We should talk about that more.
Yeah.
Not right now.
Guess what? That's next time on tWoTcast, let's talk about weird bony characters having ejaculations.
Like somebody walks through a doorway, they all just start coming in their pants.
I'm not going to make my straps out of human skin. Think of the smell, D. You idiot.
You goddamn bitch.
It's kind of briny. Like, what's that smell? It's very.
Anyway, chapter 9.
No, chapter 9. Decisions. As we've said already.
We're going to tear through this chapter, and there's quite a few perspectives. Although it's
the air is hot and wet, Joe.
Oh, time for me to get a beer. Go on.
The air is hot and wet. The people slow and lethargic. And Matt can't play cards with the nobles, which means he goes to the poor places with the dumb shitheads who have no money.
Jump to Landfair.
All right, we'll sum it up fast.
I think it's a really cool framing chapter. Like this is a bizarrely like let's move back. It's almost like the first 8 chapters.
We made a joke about how prologue-ish this chapter is also. And Jono, you said something about like it's just a small little. It's like a breath of air, the wind, meeting the wind.
Yeah, it's like a fart. Like this whole thing.
It's a little. It's a little queef.
What could be a queef?
Anyway, it's hot as fuck. Tom's busy. Oh, he's limiting Tom being busy. The girls don't want to cuddle. Lures don't want to lose their money to him, and he's just looking for entertainment.
Fucking
because he knows he can't leave.
Yeah, I love the fucking like beginning of this chapter. It's a very cool kind of like reframing.
Yeah,
it's again like the first part could have been something before the credits roll on a book or on a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like here we are, let's reframe, let's do it again. And that's like what happens here. I fucking love it. Honestly, I'll tell you a secret, guys.
I really enjoy the beginning chapter of this book, apparently. Like all the time that they spend in the Stone of Tears is some of my favorite stuff, I think, in this book.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of cool shit in this book. But I like the initial setup of this book for some reason. Like I like how much time we spend with each character. I like how like there's
100%.
even though it's like it's a larger chapter, but like we get a few perspectives in each chapter. Like it's not just like Perrin's on this side of the world and Rand's over here. You know, like it's like when they cut to a Perrin chapter later, you're like, well, we're gonna be over here for a while. You know, like that's it. Doesn't that none of this has that feeling? I love this. I love the beginning of this book.
On a very relevant point, over the weekend, Joe and I got drunk together.
That's true,
and there was about a 45-minute period where my wife had to listen to me yell about how much I love the books.
That's
and
true.
Yeah, that's it. And Joe's wife did this. Let me go get you a drink, and then bring us drinks.
Let me get you more drunk so you stop talking about the wheel time.
So technically that happened. Lauren passed out first, then I passed out, then my wife, and then Joe. And then we Ubered home.
Yeah, that's usually the order of things, though.
Yeah. Got home at 4:30.
I like the pattern. Real quick about the Matt section. I really like. He literally describes like I can go as far as the city before I start feeling the magnetic pull to like go back towards Rand. And I almost feel like the way he wrote it is like Matt is more of a wild card, so the pattern is trying harder to keep him next to Rand because it's like he could just go in any direction kind of thing. So it's like granted he like quote unquote needs to be near Rand for the foreseeable future, but like I think it's interesting that like he feels it way stronger than maybe Perrin does, you know. And I love that kind of thing. That little tidbit.
It is very interesting, like because Perrin says like I know I need to be with him. I know I need to be with him. And then all of a sudden, like, actually, I don't feel that way at all, right? And then when he gets to the Two Rivers after he finishes what happens later on in this book, he's just kind of like, well, I know where I need to go. Like, he kind of feels like next destinations. Whereas we all know Matt is so imprecise as a person, is just kind of like, I gotta be stuck right fucking here. Like, I've just got like there's gotta be a fucking like horseshoe up my ass, that like old school magnetic thing that keeps me right here.
Yeah. All right. Well, what man was that Perrin needed to go back to the Two Rivers. I agree.
You know why that is?
Matt needed Rhuidean. Yeah, but in kind needed to be near Rand in Rhuidean specifically. I think. I don't know. Anyway, Perrin hunts for rumors and news to send Fail on an adventure, but a safe one, and it doesn't work. Anyway, Egwene. Still questioning Amiko and Joya, which I thought was weird because Moraine was basically like, no, we're done.
Can I tell you something funny?
Yeah.
Perrin's dumb as fuck. Like,
we're still on that.
There is
I moved past Perrin so fast.
There's nothing dumber than the idea that this guy is like, well, I gotta go find a way for my girlfriend to get the fuck out of here. Like, it's just so like, it's cringeworthy on the like extreme. Like,
yeah, I mean, he wants to keep her safe. Like, it makes sense. I get it, but it's just like the roundabout fucking way he's doing it is like it's like almost future telling of like what's gonna happen with
his lack of awareness that what it would take to get her to leave him is
that's
insane.
The thing. Yeah, like that's the thing.
Her parents would have to be dead. Like, she's not leaving.
I don't even know if that would work. If news came back, because he even tries to use like turmoil in her her home country.
She would drag him with her. Like, it's not happening.
Yeah, the amount of like
he's like, there's some shit happening in Saldea, I heard, and she's like, yeah, but I'm not worried about
it. The amount of like mental torture that like he's doing. Yeah. Again, obviously, every one of our characters is mentally fucking retarded sometimes. Like I apologize. Like mentally like doing something. I hate that I have to defend.
Keep trying.
Yeah, doing great. But like really like trying to like pull some fucking threads together to make it all fucking work. It is hilarious on its own, but like the way that he's trying to do it for her is extra stupid. Like,
I think it's always frustrating when you read or watch something where the conflict comes from a lack of communication, and you're just like, just say it. But also in real life, people don't always communicate that well, and you have to amp it up for a book. Or
the problem, and I agree with that, Tom. But like the problem is not now because they're all in the same spot. The problem is later on when they're away, nowhere near each other, and they still cycle through this shit, and you're just like,
Yes,
you send Rand a pigeon or something so we can fucking like get him past this shit. Anyway, 13 years ago in tWoTcast history, speaking on the fact that Tom just wanted to skip straight to Lanfear, he said, how much time can we talk about? How much time can we kill talking about people that are killing time?
Little did you fucking know.
So anyway, let's talk about Lanfear.
Question for you, Joe.
Yeah.
How much fun would it be to have Jono, Joe, and Tom from 13 years ago on this show?
God, it'd be a really good time.
Also,
wait, what do you mean? I think you have it.
Yeah, we've got it. To a certain degree, we have it.
To a certain degree. Would the original versions of ourselves be depressed, impressed, or repressed, or just...
I think I'd be pretty impressed that we're still going. And I would also
be like,
why?
Also, yeah, depressed. Depressed is the right answer.
No.
I mean, it's impressive that you're still doing this, older Joe, but why?
No, would we think it's impressive?
I would think it's impressive on one. Hey, we're on 409 episodes. That's just fun in general, and any podcast goes.
Past me, I think first would be like, don't you guys have anything better to do?
No.
And then I think
that I'm beyond impressive. You're still going.
I think the current three of us would then lay out what we have going on in our lives, and then past us would be like, why are you still doing it?
Yeah, life has been like,
you sound extremely busy.
Life is pretty successful for the three of us, despite everything you fucking see here.
But at any rate, Rand enjoys her company, and that's by her I mean Elaine, and they've been making out in corners of the stone. And I really do enjoy the maidens like treat it like a game and help her find nooks and crannies of the stone to make out in, and inform her when he's not surrounded by High Lords, which I think is hilarious.
Question: are you talking about the stones, nooks and crannies, or Elaine's nooks and crannies?
Both.
How dare you? She's the daughter of Heir of Andor.
The one game.
What's that?
Maiden's Kiss is the one game. Nooks and Crannies is the other.
You put the butter all over, let it go, it kind of melt into the crannies.
It's funny that Rand thinks about asking her to stay.
Just make Elaine
exactly what she was concerned about, or / a Gween and a Neve. Was it a Neve?
And Dorish muffin, but yes.
Yeah.
And Dorish muffin. Fork split.
That's where you put all the butter. We already talked about this, but she helps him with High Lord.
Only split Elaine with a fork.
Really?
Don't.
I mean,
actually,
there's some random shit that happens with him and the High Lords, but we should get to the Lanfear shit, which is what Tom's been trying to say for 10 years.
I've been yelling drunk. I apologize for
that. Celine visits him, and I love how blatantly she drops the Celine act, and she's just like, yeah, you know what I mean, Luce Theron? And he's like, wait, what? And then she's like, oh, by the way, my name's Lanfear. Celine's just a name I use. You know, and he's like, what? That can't possibly be true. Oh, shit, it's true. It's really funny when he's like talking about setting up houses. He's like, I'm sorry you fell on hard times. I feel like it's partly my fault. Like, I'm in charge of Carrion now. I'll set you up with a house and shit. And she's like, yeah, that'd be cool if I cared about holdings in Carrion, but I don't because I'm Lanfear. And he's like, huh?
Uh-oh.
Huh?
Yeah, that was a quick. Things aren't going great for me.
He's the absolute last to find out.
Yeah. Readers in book 2, 4 years ago, fucking knew it. What's your fucking deal?
Yeah, come on, Rand.
I mean,
come on.
I mean, she says, like, by the way, my name's Lanfear. Also, we call ourselves the Chosen. And he's like, holy shit, are you one of them? It's just a hilarious conversation. And to Tom's point earlier, she basically lays out her plan of like, well, you need to learn how to use Sidene. You got a couple things to do, and I can help you out there, and you can just come hang out with me.
She's opposite Moraine. She's just like, look, I also want you to learn how to do all this shit so we can take over the world.
But also,
Moraine also wants
you're also capable and powerful enough for me to be attracted to you. I think, is her secondary.
Is Lanfear doing an opposite Dolly Parton?
Yes, reverse. Reverse.
Is Moraine Dolly Parton?
Christian Rapper said the funny thing is that Rand's harem would never have happened if Elaine had never written that second letter. Is that true?
No,
I feel like it would have.
Hold on.
I'm going to fall back on a point we brought up earlier in the show. It was a min viewing, so it would have happened no matter what.
I'll fall back another one. We're drunk, so let's hold on that.
Also that's next episode.
Yeah, let's wait till next
maybe,
episode.
Maybe we should not blame Elaine. Maybe the pattern wrote that letter.
Yeah.
The pattern made her write two letters. She's like writing with a left hand and right hand. Like, I don't know.
Pattern, of course. Hey, you guys want to vomit real quickly? Pattern, of course, being the character from Brandon Sanderson's books 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, what a super clever character. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh, now you're throwing.
Talking about that guy that like plays the musical instruments and tells stories to.
That's Hoyt. Goddammit! No, Pattern's the name of
that stupid thing. That...
I forgot that thing's name was Pattern. That's way worse than what I.
How did you forget? Also, it's clever.
I forgot because it's
not the real at time. Anyway, shut the fuck up. I want to go back to something else. I love the fact that, like, so right here, Rand is understandably looking at his hands and reciting the pattern. God damn it. Reciting the Carathian cycle. We'll do that.
Yeah.
Looking at his hands.
Because that's where the heron marks are. And
I just immediately pictured Uncle Jack.
Uncle Jack from what?
Jono.
Sorry, I haven't been molested that much. Wait, what are you talking about?
Do these look fake?
Actually, weirdly, you were right on target.
Tom, do these look fake?
My hands look big.
Oh shit!
They look like real strong hands, don't they?
What's that from?
Anyway, Gray Man slips in.
No, not what I was gonna say. Hold on, let me finish my thing.
How did we make a joke about Uncle Jack and big hands, and John didn't know what we were talking about, and he still made a molestation?
John's the best.
He's like, "What are you talking about? Is it
the best?" Anyway, I love the fact that like if you read this, like you can come up with this idea of like twice the dragon. I like the idea that like somehow like Rand later on just gets a picture of like a fucking like Luz Theron arm like anywhere.
Yeah, he's like, it's twice the dragon. The only dragon I know is Luz Theron. That'd be weird. I can't mark Luz Theron. And then he's like, what does that mean? The other one's me? And then he just has tattoos of his own face. Like, maybe if you look really closely, the dragon's face is Rand and Luz Theron's on his hands.
Fucking
what if it was like one of those things that like where you fold the page and it comes together?
Yeah.
But if you go like this, it looks like Luz Theron. If you go like
he
this,
does this like he's like a Constantine move. And when he puts the dragons together, it's his own face.
What are like when you get like really fat?
You do it the other way. It's Luz Theron.
Just amazing.
It's the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
We should have been editors on this book.
All right, another thing that's important and like actually like important with capital I.
It's like, wait, put the herons together.
Lanfear reveals who she is, as you guys mentioned, and she says that there's two Sangreal for the men that are stronger than Kalendor. And if you remember, I'm sure Joe does, that this gave me a fucking conniption.
Yeah.
Obviously, one's a Choden Cal, and the writing saying the word Choden Cal in a normal's totally fine for me.
Yeah. You're fine.
But in book 14, I believe, our good friend Damodred shows up with what's called
the Fraud of Dominion. Isn't that what it is?
Sakharin.
No.
Sakaran.
Yeah, but Sakaran's the Rod of Dominion, isn't it?
No. The Rods of Dominion are people.
Oh yeah, that's the people. That's right. That's the titles. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
Sakarans, I think, is Karen.
What's the other
I
name?
don't.
I thought there was like a dumb name for it, like Rod of something though. But maybe I'm wrong.
Erotic.
Yeah,
we
Rod.
literally did an entire Dungeons and Dragons season based around this.
Yeah, finding
Yeah,
half
but
a
it's not like
Sakaran.
Clint was like spewing out facts. He was.
By the way, that man is a wonderful, perfect.
The best dungeon master ever. He's adequate.
Nope,
He's
no, adequate dungeon master ever.
No.
And thank you for his effort. Thank you for your service. So I don't know how I feel about that. I can't tell. Like, obviously, Brandon Henderson did a great job of like grabbing that as a thing, because there's
I
no
always
way.
thought he was just referring to the two halves of the Choden Cow.
No, it says for
The
men.
female and male statue.
It says for men. And I think that gave us a trip at the time.
Oh.
So like Brandon grabbed this and said like,
And like, let's pull this.
Did
in as
he,
a
or was
follow-up.
it supposed to be there?
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
I can.
We'll have to
I
take a
don't
visit
know.
to Charleston and read Robert Jordan's notes specifically about that subject.
Or I'll just email Maria.
I'd love to know if
Hold on.
Yeah, just text Maria. We need to wrap this up. Greyman
Yeah,
slips
hold
in. He
on.
pushes her out of the way, and the wind blows over the wall. Sword form kills the Gray Man. You know, he basically said, "You could have killed me easily. Why use him?" And she's like, "It wasn't me, dummy. And your fire sword is cute." By the way,
it's really funny, right? Like,
cute. I can teach you way better ways to use the power.
if you are a Lanfear, and you know what, like Rand does later with like fucking laser webs destroying thousands of trucks at the same time, you're just like, oh, fire sword. Okay.
Oh, look at your little fire sword. How
You're
corny.
like
Yeah.
you're like a little baby.
so I had a question earlier of how would it have worked or not worked if Seinfeld had started asking the already
I just got real
Stone Appears also a comedy club.
No, if Seinfeld started asking the elfin like, what is the deal with, and if that would have been like sufficient shielding, like, hey, what is the deal with?
Oh man,
this feels like the same idea. Like,
I don't think it is. I think you're way off.
Can you ask the foxes rhetorical questions to avoid?
No, Moraine literally says if it touches the shadow, then you're.
Yeah,
I don't know.
what's the deal with
She says
touching
it's
it?
dangerous, but she doesn't say like what the consequences are. I wonder what.
That's true too. Yeah.
I think the consequences are you become captive and they feed off.
You don't get out of there. Yeah,
vampires, and you lose half your power.
Well, what's the deal with
You have to
that?
be rescued by multiple people.
What's the deal with the Tower of Genji? Am I right? Is
Unless
it
you
the
can
tower?
fight your
Is
way
it
out.
Genji? Yeah. Is there a door?
So Rand, the
What's
chapter
the
ends with
deal?
Rand going like, "Holy shit, the
That
IEL
was the
outside."
joke. Is it Tower? Is it Genji?
Man, why else did Gray Men come in movie theaters? Has a Gray Man ever done anything? LOL, they were like stormtroopers or whatever. I mean, didn't that one in the tower do something in the first book?
You should do an episode about what gray men do with their downtime. Are they in the locker rooms?
Just Harry Potter invisible cloak in it in the Gryffindor women's room.
Just all of them, like just like a room of neutral, just powered down assholes.
Are they pretending they're ghosts and like fucking with people?
I love how this chapter ends because it's Rand like freaking out that once he's killed one gray man, he's like, "Oh shit, what about my guards outside?" Meaning the IEL, and he like rushes out to. And I was my only killed 3 other gray men before dying because they're fucking badasses. that's what happens.
Yeah, I again, what the fuck happens afterwards is some of the probably 2. I'm guessing of the best chapters in the first 7 books. This is about to just open up. Like I tried to fucking make it not into the next battle. As
Gray
far as
Man was
what
such a
chapter
cool idea,
summation.
and it works so well, like narratively.
I think it's
like,
cool.
in the like when you're writing it, because it's just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm just talking to this person, and I see this guy over here, he's walking toward me, and I'm doing this, and I'm like, wait, that guy has a knife. Like, what the fuck? And they really kind of. And Brandon Sanders was like, "What if I made it a blood knife and cool?" Like, fuck. Why?
What if I add an extra layer and add some magical element with rings that
It's already super cool. They could have just done Grayman for that.
Yeah.
There could have been like half the tower could have been Grayman. Whatever.
Oh,
Fighter of the Night Man.
oh.
I'm gonna do this for Jono because we're overtime.
Hold on. Let me give me this 1 second.
All right.
Yeah. You get 1 point.
Oh, god damn it. Oh, he's pulling up
for everyone.
Are you just gonna play the Green Man?
No, he's pulling up the fucking outro.
How dare you? I've tried to give the purposefully shitty response. How dare you? That was
actually,
we're already there, John.
So that's tWoTcast this week. If you have any comments or questions, the best way to find us is, of course, at tWoTcast. You know what? You can find us an email on Twitter, Facebook, technically, and whatever other options we use online.
None of this is
that we never check, but we will.
I just started getting off Twitter.
Well, we get off on Twitter twice a week.
We don't talk about Twitter. I don't know what he's doing. tWoTcast Theme Song is brought to you by the one and only Tyvik Bennington and legendary intro Bard of Time. Links to their stuff is below. Please watch their videos. They are awesome.
So I want to take a second. All right. That's it. Thank you very much. I'm glad I took that second.
You're so good at this. God damn, it's amazing.
In fairness, that was a great brief joke, and I forgot my next line, which says, "Hi, I'm Joe." No, this
God
is
damn it.
guest.
Join us next episode for more
Join
Wheel
us
Time
next
covering
episode,
Shadow
Wheel of
Rising,
Time.
Part 4, chapters 10 through 15.
Say goodnight, Joe.
God damn it. I'm Jono.
Say goodnight, Joe. I'm Jono. Say goodnight, Joey. Yeah.
Good night, Jono.
Say goodnight. Say goodnight, Joe.
Good night, Joe.
Tommy Bear. Say night,
Study your
Tommy
math.
Bear.
Study your math.
Jesus
Goodbye.
Christ. Keep the change, you filthy animals.
Yes.
Among the first to start, the tWoTcast was so smart to lovingly bash our favorite books. But that was long ago, and now they've grown the show, and now they got us in their hooks. Don't throw coins to these bastards, they need bars of gold at least. Someone please keep them afloat. Now let's listen as they once again ramble through a book. Let's get the fucking quote. One of them is Tom, but he is barely on. Sometimes he calls into the show. Another one is Jono. Is he their joker? Oh no. And Joe, is he the stupid one? Welcome to the tWoTcast. We will share our love for books and all our hate in every episode. We'll entertain you, make you laugh so hard you barely can stand up. That is the tWoTcast code.